Mortis.com. Back in the early days of the internet, people stumbled upon a website that felt incredibly unsettling. If you typed Mortis.com into your browser, you were met with a completely black screen. The only thing on the page was the word mortis, which translates to death in Latin, written in plain white text. If you clicked on the word, a username and password box would pop up. People naturally wanted to know what was hiding behind the login screen, and when people started digging into the website code and the server it was hosted on, they discovered something completely baffling. The server holding the website contained huge amounts of locked files. People immediately started wild theories about what could be hidden inside. Some thought it was a secret government database, some that it was a repository of illegal material, while others believed it was a hub for international spies. A massive group of amateur internet detectives decided they were going to crack the password and uncover the truth. They used special programs to guess thousands of passwords, but the security was surprisingly strong, so they decided to investigate the owner of the site instead. Public web records showed the site belonged to a man named Thomas Ling. As the detectives dug into his name, they found that his server was linked to several other strange websites. One site just showed a picture of a chess piece, and another site referenced dark fantasy monsters. Even weirder, they traced the server connections to physical addresses across the country, and they found links to a dentist office, a high-end security firm, and a lawyer. When internet users looked up the physical addresses for these businesses, many of them turned out to be empty lots or abandoned warehouses. To make things worse, some of the people listed in the business records were dead. The internet was now convinced that Thomas Ling was an alias for a criminal mastermind running a massive illegal network. The story spread like wildfire, and soon people were claiming the FBI was investigating the site. Eventually, the website suddenly vanished from the internet completely, leaving everyone to assume the government had finally taken it down. However, years later, the real story came out, and it wasn't what people were expecting. Thomas Ling was just a regular guy who worked in IT. The massive amounts of hidden data were not government secrets or criminal files. They were simply the backups of his personal files. As for the other weird websites with chess pieces and monsters, those were just personal projects. Thomas was a fan of fantasy games and books, and he used his own server space to mess around with web design as a hobby. He chose the name Mortis simply because he thought it sounded cool. Also, the FBI never raided his house or shut down his website. When the thousands of internet detectives started trying to hack his server and sharing his personal information online, Thomas noticed the unusual web traffic. He briefly tried to tell people online to leave his server alone, explaining it was just for personal files. When people refused to listen and kept trying to break in, he simply got annoyed and took the site offline himself.